Regrets collect like old friends, here to relive your darkest moments. Florence and the Machine. Welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. Here we talk about personal development, relationships, and mental health, just to name a few. My name is Carmen, a registered counsellor who is passionate about coming alongside people. This podcast is designed to create a discussion and bring awareness, with each episode encouraging, equipping, and empowering you to live your best life. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode. How are you? Can you believe that we are in May? And I don't know about you, but April just flew. And here we are. And I'm so grateful to share this time with you. So I try to live life on purpose and with intention. And it takes a conscious effort. And I was thinking of some potential avenues that I might take. And I caught myself asking the question, is it worth the energy? Ultimately, whatever we say yes to, we're saying no to something else. So the question that we need to ask is, does it best align with where we want to go? We tend to be aware of our time, but how about our energy? Perhaps time is more measurable than energy. And could it be that is why we don't give it much thought? Or maybe you do. And I would love to hear from you if that is the case. An example of this might be if we want to go for an hour walk. We could take the flatter track or the track with hills. The same amount of time, different amounts of energy. What path we take might depend on what else we have on that day. In this episode, we look at how to turn regrets into lessons and get unstuck. I don't know about you, but I have been stuck, revisiting some of the choices that I have made. Our choices have consequences. Yes, they do. But then what? We are not born with all the knowledge we need to do life well. We need to seek it out. As we develop, we learn helpful and unhelpful ways to do life and pass on the same. Our parents or our caregivers could only pass on what they have learned. Unfortunately, we are left with what I call the gaps. The gaps are just that, gaps in our knowledge to do life well. It can be so easy to beat ourselves up, especially after navigating through something and not making the best choices for ourselves, only to see it after we had made them. Regret is an energy drainer. If you have ever sat in the company of regret, you will know that regret is not the most fantastic company. Regret can sound like, if only you did this or that, or I can't believe you did that. Something must be wrong with you. Is it fair to say that regret is not productive? And no matter how much we beat ourselves up, we cannot change the past. Instead of sitting in the company of regret, a thought might be to sit with reflection, to seek to understand the situation by looking for any gaps we might have. Could it be true that if we know better, we do better? Understanding is constructive, and while it too requires energy, we can be on our way to getting unstuck, looking for any lessons we can take from the experience. Once we have identified any gaps, it's important not to set up home in this place. We want to avoid getting stuck analysing the situation with no movement forward. Sometimes we move towards accepting the lesson, and other times we move towards a solution or making a change. Either way, it's the narrative that we ultimately attach to the experience that will disempower or empower us. From personal experience, one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the space to grow. Staying stuck serves no one. If you have been feeling stuck, feel free to get in touch. I have been there, and I have walked along others who have as well. I leave you with this. How are you going to turn regrets into lessons so you can get unstuck? On a finishing note, I'm so grateful to share this time with you. And if you have any topics of interest, you can get in touch by visiting carmendebono.com.au. I'd love to hear from you. So you take good care of yourself, as I know you will, and see you next time. So that's it for today's episode. As always, I'm grateful for the opportunity to come alongside you. If you know someone who might benefit from hearing this episode, why not share it with them? Don't want to miss an episode? You can subscribe to the podcast, and if you are listening via Apple Podcast, I would be most grateful if you would leave a review. For more content, head over to carmendebono.com.au, and I look forward to coming alongside you again on the first Wednesday of the month.